Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Stain Think. My name is Beth, and I am just so excited to talk to you tonight about The Magic Misfits by Neil Patrick Harris. Now, Neil Patrick Harris is somebody that I can remember watching for most of my life. I know the sound of his voice because I've seen so many movies and television shows that he is a part of. I really enjoy him, and I really love his his persona outside of being an actor. I've seen so many different interviews with him, and just I follow him on Instagram and Twitter and everything, of course. And I love that persona. But when they announced that he was writing a debut middle grade novel that was going to be the first in a series, I believe there are going to be 4 books, I was both thrilled and absolutely terrified because honestly, as much as I love NPH, part of me went, why would we want Barney Stinson to write a book for middle grade students? What kind of crazy person would do that? However, NPH's Choose Your Own Autobiography is in my top 3 favorite memoir slash autobiographies of all time. So I thought I'd give it a whirl, especially since I adore middle grade books. And I know that since he was the president of the Academy of Magical Arts for 3 years, he probably knows what he's talking about. You can very rarely see something that he plays in or an interview where he does not discuss or perform some sort of magic. That is one of his hobbies that he's been doing most of his life, and he's good at it. I knew that part was going to be well done. What I didn't realize was how well done the rest of the book was going to be. His characters are phenomenal. The story is very well told. You are not at all sitting there going, well, that was way too fast, or well, he left out so much, or moves too slow, or any of the things that you would think that a debut middle grade novel would hold, especially when you have the name Neil Patrick Harris. Because let's be real, if you are a star already, you can probably get away with having a less than stellar debut novel. People are still going to pick it up and read it because your name is attached to it. But MPH, he doesn't go for any of that haphazard nonsense. And he wrote a really, really phenomenal middle grade read. Now, my 5 year old asked me, upon seeing the cover of this book, what this was about. And when I told her, she insisted that we read it together. So it did take me a little over a week, or right at a week, to read. We got the audiobook and listened to the audio as well as reading in the physical copy. And both are just phenomenally done. NPH is the narrator for the audiobook, and it is amazing. I love his voice so much. And you can, even when reading the physical copy and not listening to the audio along with it, you can kind of hear his form of narration rolling through your head if you're familiar with him, especially on things like how to roll coins on your knuckles. Because between chapters, they have these just beginning magician tricks that that he's inserted, and it's absolutely just adorable and amazing, really well done, and I loved it. I personally give this book a 4 to 4.5 stars. It's very solid in the 4 to 4.5 stars. Loved it, but it's the first book in a series, and as much as I loved it, it was definitely something that set up for the other books to come. Um, Not as much as some first books in the series, I'll admit, but still, there was some setup that had to be done, which is definitely understandable. Still, 4 to 4.5 stars is no small thing, uh, especially when you have to do some setup like this. The representation is amazing in this book, but does not feel like it's being pushed at you. We've got our main character, Carter, whose uncle is a scam artist and made him live a vagabond type lifestyle until he runs away and comes to this small town where he winds up meeting a small group of children his own age who are amateur magicians. And so we've got Ridley, who's a girl in a wheelchair. We've got Theo, a boy of color, who is a musician and a kind of late in life baby for his parents. And then we have Lele. La, 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 la. I am not 100% certain what her name is, but I will find it. Uh huh. Layla. La, la, la. I knew it was a la, la, la. Layla, who is adopted by the Misters Vernon. Her dad, Mr. Vernon, owns a magic shop in town, and her other dad, the other Mr. Vernon, is a chef at a resort right outside of town. So there is great representation, but it's not just pushed in your face. It's not screaming at you. It just feels absolutely positively natural that things are that way. And we just find it out and we move along with the story, and there's no big discussion about any of it, which I found absolutely gratifying and amazing, especially since I was listening to it with my 5 year old and I didn't want to have to try to explain anything like that to her, and she didn't have any issue with it because of just the matter of fact way that it was presented. Um, like I said, very well done. I cannot wait until the next book, and neither can she. We're both going to be on pins and needles when it comes near time for the second book in the series to be released. We'll probably be rereading this one right before the next one comes out and just thoroughly enjoying it all over again. So if you enjoy middle grade books, books about magic, books about misfits, I highly suggest that you check this out. And I highly suggest you also get it on audiobook because who can resist listening to an audiobook written and performed by Neil Patrick Harris? Until next time, guys, I hope that you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful life. Read something good and write something even better. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll talk to you again soon.